Los Angeles Chargers to wrap up the season. When you look at those games, see, the NFC one stands out because it has the least significance to the Broncos' overall standings and chase for the number one seed. So it's, okay, is it the toughest game? It might be, but it's also the least significant.
Yeah, it's the toughest game remaining on the schedule, in my opinion, but it's also one of those, if you lose, it's out of conference. Now you're watching the Patriots, and they've got the Bills, then they've got the Ravens, and that should be a little bit interesting. You're watching with New England. That's the team. You're not worried about the Colts anymore. You should have never been worried about the Colts. But if you look now at this Green Bay game, it's a hell of a test, and it's one that you want to pass. And it's not about quieting the doubters. It's just about proving that you can take on some of the NFL's best. And yes, the schedule numbers are out, and you see the New England Patriots haven't played anybody. The Denver Broncos are right behind him. Right behind him. So at the same time, we can praise the Broncos for playing their schedule. You can only play who's on your schedule.
Of course.
But at the same time, we have to go, okay, what do you do when you're truly tested, when you're truly challenged? Well, if it's a game like the Eagles game, you got to have another fourth quarter comeback. You've had to do that against teams like the Giants.
Yeah.
So a complete game is almost, I'll say it, I'm expecting a complete game from Bo Nix. He's done it 3 weeks in a row. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to think that at home, great weather, that he wouldn't have another complete game where he looks comfortable, where he's out there dealing. And I don't care if it's short stuff or deep shots. It doesn't matter. But Bo Nix should look comfortable. Now, can RJ do more like he did last week? Can Evan do more like he did 2 weeks ago? These are all part of the conversation, and that will truly see. You have to have your best game to beat Green Bay.
Yeah.
You don't have to play perfectly. You know, if they have a punt or if there happens to be a turnover, don't lose your mind, Broncos country. Be resolute, but also know that you have to play, 70% of your potential as a team collectively, offensive and defensively, to win this thing.
Fast forward to Sunday at 3:02, me on Twitter going, what the hell is going on here? That's probably what will happen on Sunday on Twitter.
There's probably going to be a lot of that.
But I'm with you, man. It is when you look at the toughest games, and now there's still 3 weeks before it gets there. If the Chiefs win a couple of games in a row and you look at that Christmas game going, hey, you can bury them or give them a breakthrough chance to find a postseason, then we'll look at that and go, okay, that's a big, significant game with a tough opponent in front of you with a team that has figured it out. But Green Bay is no joke. They are a team that can find themselves in the Super Bowl. They can find themselves playing in February out in Santa Clara. It's not that hard to see that actually going down. But as we said, if you do lose, there's not a huge significance or a huge impact because of where they play. And even that Chargers game, watch them play last night or this weekend, and it's not anything that's intimidating or terrifying about what they do as a football team, but they're balanced. They're solid in pretty much all areas, and I think they have a damn good football coach and a hell of a quarterback. And the same thing. Let's see how the rest of this month plays out. That game could be for the ultimate division championship to be the AFC West champs on January 3rd.
All I know is there's no room for error. If you drop one, then pick it up and go get another one. Sean Payton talking about hating to lose, I think, is a great thing for this entire team to look at. Like, yeah, you can learn your lessons and still win. You can learn your lessons in these close games and still not necessarily treat it like a loss, but have that knowledge that you're not complete, that you're not playing perfect football, that you're not playing their best. And I think collectively that entire group over there at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit, would be able to admit, not even like privately, like, oh, I'm so ashamed. No, they know. They're not without flaws at all. And their schedule's been pretty easy, comparatively speaking.
Hasn't that been the conversation? You're in the locker room more than me this year. I've heard McGlinchey.
Yeah.
I've heard Bo say it multiple times of going, yeah, it hasn't been pretty. There's a lot to clean up, but we've won 8 in a row.
Right.
That's not been pretty, but now we've won 10 in a row. You know what I mean? Like, they're aware that it's not a finished product.
Yeah, and that, I think, benefits them greatly because they're not, oh, we're on this win streak, we're unstoppable. No.
Let me ask you this real quick. This just popped into my head. So if they're not this finished project and the NFL's as wide open as it's ever been, do they have to look like a completed project by the time February comes around if they're still in this tournament?
Yeah. I mean, your
challenge you have to finish the job as a completed team.
You played Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
Did it get easier when you go up that mountain?
That's true. No, it doesn't.
It does not get easier. Nothing easy out there. That's what Peyton Manning said. So every single week, starting with Green Bay, this is a playoff game. What would the Broncos do if they're in the playoffs right now? And I know Green Bay's out of conference, but just that's the mindset you should have with all 4 of these remaining games. How do you feel about your playoff chances? Well, were you 3-1 in these last 4? Were you 4-0? Were you 1-3? Were you 2-2? And then we have to ride the fence on everything like Mike Evans and the mom jeans? Like, that's what you need to look at if you're a Broncos fan of like, okay, every single week is a playoff game from here on out. So how are you going to do? You going to keep that streak alive? You have to have a 3-game winning streak if they get the number 1 overall seed. So, where can you be? How do you measure up? This one's at home. Home cooking's always good in the Mile High. Make it happen. Go out there and get this win. Even though Vegas doesn't believe in you, a lot of money coming in on Green Bay. That's fine. Let those be less for the cheese right there, right? In Wisconsin. Maybe you could lose some weight, Wisconsin fans, so that you're not buying the cheese because you lost all your money betting on the Packers.
Our guy Mike in Pueblo, we had the stat earlier that the Packers are 1-7 in Denver. And then Mike's adding on to this one. Bo is 8-1 versus the NFC. Mike says his only loss came to Seattle way back. That was his last season.
Yeah.
Early in the season. Wasn't that the field goal thing, all that stuff? Am I remembering that right? History is on the side of the Denver Broncos, but it's none of those guys were on that team back in 2007. So I get why you're sharing it, Mike, and it does mean something, but this is a completely different roster, completely different coach-quarterback combo. I will say this, maybe people will give me some pushback on this, and that's all good. Right now, if we did the coach-quarterback combo, LaFleur, Jordan versus Sean and Bo, who do you think's better?
Sean and Bo.
Really?
Yeah, LaFleur's got some hiccups with that team, and Love also does as well. Again, when Love is cold, he's ice cold, like for the entire game. Bo Nix can be cold. Kev, don't put me on the list. Bo Nix will have some games where he's cold, and then the fourth quarter happens. What happens to Bo Nix in the fourth quarter? Is he cold in the fourth quarter? Does Bo Nix shrink under the bright lights of the fourth quarter? He gets hot.
Gets real hot. The
problem with Jordan Love is that when he's cold, he stays cold. So that's something that the Packers have had to deal with. And LaFleur, there's been conversations at times like, is Green Bay going to have to move on from their head coach? Now, that's not this year, but it wasn't that long ago when Jordan Love was kind of stinking up the joint and Matt LaFleur was a coach that people were thinking like, maybe he's not the guy for Green Bay. So it's working now. It's rolling now. A lot because of Josh Jacobs, but a lot because of the development of Jordan Love. But the one thing that's been corrupt about his game, and I'll go back to Utah State, and I'll even go back to the Senior Bowl where he was at the same game as Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, and, oh my God, why am I forgetting the Colorado quarterback that was there? Montez.
Steven Montez.
Montez looked better than him.
Wow.
Because Jordan Love was uncomfortable. When Jordan Love is uncomfortable, he's bad. When Bo Nix is uncomfortable, he kind of gets mad at it, and then he becomes comfortable in the fourth quarter. So with Jordan Love, he doesn't have that same skill set. Sean Payton's got a ring. Matt LaFleur does not. So give me Sean Payton, Bo Nix in that conversation.
See, Sean for me over LaFleur I can get with. I don't know that, like right now if it was just quarterback versus quarterback, I think Jordan's he's like 5 steps ahead of where Bo is right now. Bo can close that gap real quick, and I think maybe ceilings of quarterbacks because of coach fit and freedom that may be earned in the future, Bo and Sean's ceiling is higher than that of LaFleur and Jordan Love. I don't know that I can go all in Sean Bo right now over LaFleur and Love.
Okay.
But it's not like a giant gap. We're not talking a Grand Canyon gap here.
Right.
It's something that can be closed within this season.
If there is a gap, it can be closed in this game. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
In this one game. I will still lean on the fourth quarter stuff. If you're great in the fourth quarter, that's something that Jordan Love has not yet shown the ability. And I'll pull up the numbers of like number of fourth quarter comebacks for Jordan Love because we know with Bo Nix it happens all the time.
I mean, I don't know.
He's just Mr. Fourth Quarter.
I don't know the numbers in front of me, but he has to be the most clutch quarterback in the NFL this year by a mile.
And clutch and quarterback, like that's exactly what you want. Jordan Love is not clutch, and he's certainly not as clutch as Bo Nix.
No, he is not. And like I said, I think it's a good point you made. That gap that I have in my head right now comparing Jordan Love and Bo Nix, go outperform him on Sunday. It closes the gap entirely. So it's a big, big test coming up on Sunday. We had the conversation about underdogs. Why the heck are the Green Bay Packers the favorite in this game? Should they be favored in this game? They're at home underdog for just the second time this season. The first time was against the Chiefs. We know how that game ended up in a Broncos dub. As we talked about earlier with Mike and Pueblo, they're just 1-7 in games in the Mile High City. So they have 2 less wins. It's not like their quarterback is lighting it up. Nobody's talking about Jordan Love for MVP, right?
Right. That's not a Drake May situation.
It's strange to me, and I actually think you're spot on this with your sway the public take. Who can we enrage, right, and get upset to go get the line? I think that's what's going on with this.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on with it as well. We know that this team is going to be a tough out, and this team has the willingness to go to Josh Jacobs more than the Eagles had the willingness to go to Saquon Barkley. And I stick by my story. If the Eagles would have ran with Barkley in the second half more, they would have won that game. They would have just merely taken the time of possession and the ability, time-wise, for Bo Nix to create the fourth quarter comeback magic, beautiful plays that Bo Nix was able to do. Green Bay doesn't have any hesitation to do that. Like whatsoever. If they've got a slight lead, they're going to feed Josh Jacobs. If you're fighting back and you made it close and maybe now you're up by a field goal, maybe you're up by 10 points. The Broncos are leading going into the fourth quarter. You know who's going to get fed the ball? Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
They don't go away from Jacobs. Now that he's healthy again and Emmanuel Wilson proved to be a good backup as well, they won't go away from the thing. And get as offended as you like, Broncos country. This team can be run on. You have to have the guts to stick with the ground game, but you can run on the Denver Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos can be run on, is what you're saying.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley would have won that game if the Eagles would have stuck with the run.
Yeah.
The Packers will have the stomach for it that the Eagles did not.
Well, what's our number? 114, right?
Yeah.
You got, hey, Super Bowl teams since, what was the year?
2000.
2000 have averaged 114 yards per game. The Denver Broncos are not there yet since they lost J.K. Dobbins. Their number has dropped a little bit. They are per game. Oh, they're still over the number. Okay, they're still over the number at 121. But if I were to look at the J.K. games, they just got to over 101 of those games post J.K. Dobbins. Well, the Packers live there. They're at 117 yards per game.
Yeah.
Good enough to make the run because they don't abandon it when it gets you 2 yards in the first quarter.
Are you ready for a healthy workload from a back that's been an absolute monster against you? Josh Jacobs, thank God he's not with the Raiders anymore, but he's always been a problem. He's going to be a problem on Sunday, and Josh Jacobs could lead the Packers to a win in the Mile High City. You've got to be ready for that while also dealing with a quarterback who's their number one receiver. Oh, it doesn't exist. It's Christian Watson mainly now that he's healthy, but they spread it around all over the place. And if Tucker Kraft was healthy, this would be even more complicated. He's not. Luke Musgrave's still a problem, but they've got multiple weapons. They spread it around. It's not like you can just, hey, we're going to take away Christian Watson and then we got him, guys. Yeah. No. They've got multiple players that can get you.
To your Josh Jacobs point, since October 26th, he's been averaging 4.7 yards a carry. That's a tough stop right there. Give him the ball on first down at 2nd and 5. And then everything is open. Then you have a guy like Jordan Love who's – you're right about this blueprint with kind of the teams, the Packers and the Broncos of Jordan's this guy that is a pocket passer, has a pocket awareness, but can get out and beat you with his feet when he needs to. I would imagine there's folks in Green Bay going, man, he could probably do that a little bit more, like I've been doing about Bo Nix.
Right.
They're just so similar. I look at the Packers have an extra year between LaFleur and Jordan Love. It's their 3rd season working together. It's just the 2nd here with Bo. He has about 300 more passing yards on the year, does Jordan Love over Bo Nix. His touchdown interception ratio is 25-11. Bo's is 19-9. I mean, if Bo's at that spot by next year, then our blueprint is literally following suit. And that's not crazy. Bo could be there now if he didn't have the slump the first 10 weeks of the season.
Yeah, if he didn't have that sophomore slump, he'd be there right now. He'd be taking that jump, and it's one of those things. I really believe the Broncos are the Green Bay version of the AFC. Green Bay's tough. Green Bay's exciting. Green Bay has explosive capabilities. Now, you could say Josh Jacobs is better than R.J. Harvey. Certainly right now that is the case. But did Harvey uncork something this last week that they can do again and again and again? I'll go the Martin Lawrence route. Can you do what you did earlier, please? That's exactly what Broncos country should be asking R.J. Harvey and Sean Payton. Honestly, it comes down to Payton and giving Payton the reinforcement to feel good about the ground game.
I'm looking back at our graphic that we were looking at earlier about the how you determine a spread in a football game.
Yes.
I'm going to retweet this so that people can get their eyes on it too. At Joshua Dover if you want to go check it out.
It's the chart that we had.
It is. I mean, 3 NFC teams start this. The elite teams are LA, Seattle. The good teams start with Green Bay, and then it's Kansas City, Buffalo in the AFC, Detroit, Philly, NFC, and then Houston. So, I mean, the top 3 are NFC teams, and then there's 2 NFC teams there. So it's 5-3 just in the top 2 tiers.
Yeah.
NFC versus
And
NFC.
how many NFC teams before you get to the Denver Broncos? And again, this is a graph that you're going to retweet at Joshua Dover. And then we look at it.
6.
At six NFC teams.
The San Francisco 49ers are in front of the Broncos.
Before you get to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
So this is neutral field against an average team. What would the point spread be? And for the Broncos, 1.8, right? 1.8
yes,
for the
yes,
Denver
yes.
Broncos.
Which is good for 11th in the NFL on this chart and 5th best in the AFC. But they're behind the 8 ball there on the NFC.
Okay.
And again, it's
football played on a sheet of paper?
Yeah, exactly. Like, are the Broncos better than the Niners? Yeah, they are. Are the Broncos better than the Texans? Yeah, they are, because I watched it with my eyeballs, them beat them. Are they better than the Chiefs? Yeah. They are, because I watched it with my eyeballs. The Packers? I don't know yet. I think this is one of those games. I was confident against the Raiders. Who's not? You're confident against Washington because it was Mariota, and maybe we shouldn't have been. You're always confident with this team, but this Green Bay game is different, man. It's felt a lot different this week for me.
It feels a lot different, and if we look at challenges until the Rams, until Super Bowl 60, who's the most challenging offense that you're going to face? It's clearly the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the AFC side of the bracket. Is anyone in the AFC going to bring these challenges? The Texans with C.J. Stroud healthy. Do you have the same challenges that Green Bay does? No. This is the most complicated puzzle to figure out because they're multiple.
Mm-hmm.
They're multiple in their packages. They do use heavy personnel, and we'll have more of that on Friday in our keys to the game. But Green Bay has multiple weapons, receiving weapons. They've got a great running back. They got a nice backup running back as well. This will be the toughest test for the Denver Broncos until the Rams in the Super Bowl.
I was looking at Sharp football stats last night.
Yeah, Warren Sharp's good dude.
Yeah, he's a great website. He's got like any stat you're looking for, you can find over there. I was looking for explosive play rates and where the Broncos land because you're looking at this game, like looking at Marvin Mims and him getting involved more. Maybe there are some more explosive plays. Maybe, just maybe, you unlock Jaleel McLaughlin for the first time in a couple of years, and he's capable of explosive plays. According to Sharp football stats, Denver, their run rate is higher than their pass rate, and that's not going to surprise anybody. A 12% explosive run rate and just an 8% explosive pass rate. And the teams that are in front of them on the passing side, that's where you go, okay, there's still the deficiencies that have to get figured out. Although, with this in mind, I did say when J.K. Dobbins went down, everybody should be cool with the dink and dunks because it's just an extension of your running game. But, dude, teams like Arizona have a more explosive pass rate than the Broncos. Now, they have Trey. He's obviously really good. Cincinnati, they have the playmakers on the outside that can do it. Green Bay is one of those teams with the Broncos have an 8% explosive pass rate. The Packers have 17. They can move the ball downfield. The Rams, no surprise. Minnesota, a bit of a surprise, but they have the playmakers. New England has a bigger explosive pass rate than the Broncos. Philly, Seattle, San Francisco, and Tampa Bay. So some of those you go, it's the playmakers on the outside that account for it. But then there's some of Drake May gets some of that credit, getting the ball downfield, which is something Bo struggled with.
Yeah, something Bo struggled with, but hey, if you're winning, you continue to win, and if it takes dink and dunk, what are they giving you? I think that's their puzzle, because if I'm doing Green Bay radio, one, I'm probably eating cheese right now. But then two, I go, okay, Bo Nix is an ultimate puzzle piece because where's he going with the ball? 11 guys had catches last week. So again, it's the Jordan Love thing. This is the Spider-Man meme. It's the Spider-Man meme. Now, again, Josh Jacobs better than R.J. Harvey. But can Harvey do what he did last week and continue that? But right now, you've got teams that spread the ball around, multiple receiving weapons. I know Cortland Sutton is their number one. I'm glad that he's getting more targets now after the bye. They've self-scouted. But I look at Green Bay and I go, okay, Christian Watson, Cortland Sutton. Now let's take Jaden Reed or Romeo Dobbs and compare him to Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims and Pat Bryant. Like, they've got multiple weapons. They've got a quarterback who's clutch. By the way, Jordan Love does have 3 fourth-quarter comebacks this year. So I'll give full credit to Jordan Love there.
Impressive.
He's been more clutch this year, but still not as clutch as Bo Nix. We know what that kid does in the fourth quarter. So, Green Bay, I hope you have a good plan. And if it's LaFleur offense, cram it up your cram hole, LaFleur. We know that it's going to be the first 15. It's going to be the Shanahan script. How does Vance Joseph respond once he sees that Shanahan script? Once they show their hand, and that's the great thing about football. I'm going to show you everything we worked on all week. Mm-hmm. These are our best plays. This is exactly what we drew up. Don't lose your mind if there's an opening drive touchdown. I know the Raiders were the first one to do against the Broncos, and everyone lost their mind. Stop, please, for the love of God.
The defense is great. I'm surprised it took until week 14 to have that happen.
Yeah, and hey, I'll do the white man can't jump. Sun shines on a dog's ass every now and again. Yeah. So it did it for the Raiders. Good job. The Packers are going to give you their best punch. Vance Joseph, his best counter is going to tell the tale of this game. Does he counter well? Did he prepare in his week of preparation for whatever? Because Green Bay's offense, a lot of Josh Jacobs, you can count on that.
No doubt.
But as far as the passing game, I can't tell you if it's a Reed week, a Watson week, a Dobbs week, a Musgrave week.
As a guy,
don't know.
As a guy who's on my fantasy team, don't worry about Dobbs. He hasn't done much the last few weeks.
But he can. I'm telling you, Dobbs versus Riley kind of more later in the week. But that matchup for physical reasons concerns me.
I got to read this text because it was a talk-to-text, and it's just funny how it's set up. Now, I'm going to say the wrong word. They're trying to say Bo Nix, I believe, in their talk-to-text phone.
Does it say bonus?
No. It's Rob and Parker.
Oh.
It says, hey, gentlemen, I'm kind of wondering if Sean Payton has been saving his best play calling for the next 2 to 3 games now that Monique has settled in and is playing confidently.
Monique?
So you're probably saying it fast. Now that Bo Nix has settled in and playing confidently, and it heard Monique.
Was Monique the one that went after Cat Williams and like, you've been in jail? He's like, no. If it can, never a conviction, 11 felonies, no conviction. I'm not the one wearing $12 worth of jewelry. Is that Monique?
That
went after Cat?
It might be. It's the same lady, same name.
All right.
I just think it's funny when they do the text-to-talk stuff and it comes out like that.
Bo Nix can be anything.
I don't know. Is he going to unlock stuff for the final month, or is he saving it all now for the postseason? Because dude, they're going to go to the playoffs. Don't you just save the good for then?
Sean does. Again, Sean has a secret stash. We kind of need some of that against the Packers.
Rob just responded, oh, crap.